You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Motivation and Mindset Monday, what I'd like to do is take you through a topic that I think a lot of us suffer from, and typically from an unconscious level. We're not even aware that it's something that's holding us back in life. And that's this topic of subconsciously seeking approval from others. So those other people may be from parents, even if you're a grown adult. A lot of times you'll notice that when you get around family, when you get around your parents, you act in a little different type of way. It's still like you're seeking their approval, meaning like, see what I'm doing? Am I living up to what you thought that I may be? Maybe they had a thought for you when you were younger where you should have become a lawyer, a doctor, right? One of those things we always hear. Maybe it's a mechanic, maybe it's an electrician. You know, my dad, when I was growing up, was an electrician, and he probably hoped, he said this, that one of his 3 sons would also become an electrician one day, and they would kind of take over his business that he had. And that never came to fruition. None of us actually became an electrician. Luckily for me, my father never pushed me to be any one specific thing. I know that he had his own hopes for me in life, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But the issue is we start to develop our own thoughts about what people think that we should be in our life or how we should act towards them, what type of father we should be, what type of husband, wife that we should be, partner that we should be, son, sibling, friend, coworker. People put all of their kind of baggage on us a lot of the time. And what happens is we're always thinking about, what is this person thinking about me? What do they want me to do? What am I supposed to be for them? And all of these things are typically coming from a good place inside of you, meaning that you don't want to let other people down, right? So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, this person would really like me to go out with them this weekend, but if I do that, then I don't get to do my own X, Y, and Z, whatever it might be. And what happens is we're constantly sacrificing ourselves, right? What we want for our life. And the problem is that sometimes the days go by, the weeks go by, the months go by, the years go by, and we're looking back saying, we're not accomplishing what we want to accomplish. But even more so than that, we're not on the path that's leading us to happiness. And the reason we're not on the path that's leading to happiness is because we're always seeking the approval of those other people, meaning that we're trying to live up to their expectations. But those expectations may not be ours. They may have nothing to do with what our hopes and dreams are. So those hopes and dreams others have for us, we try to fulfill those. We try to live those out. But at the end of the day, that might not be what's making us happy. And I want to make sure that at the end of your life, that you can look back. You can say, wow, I accomplished everything I set out to do. I'm happy with my life. I'm grateful for all of the years I got to live. I'm grateful for all the lives that I maybe got to touch. My children and the grandchildren, or just friends in the community and the nonprofits and the services and everyone else that you came into contact with. What I'm trying to say is that I want you to begin to start living your life. And that's not going to happen all at once. I don't think that you're going to just drop everything. I don't think you're going to leave the job that isn't necessarily right for you. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that you're going to stop associating with the friends that may be holding you back from what you want to become in life. But I do think at some point, you need to start to open up what you want for you. And that really starts with figuring out, what is it? What is it right now that you want for you? And then what is it that other people want from you? And just write that down. Start a column that says, hey, this is what my parents want me to be. This is really what my friends want me to be. Parents might want you to be a caretaker for them. They might want you to run errands. They might want you to get this job, go to that school. Your friends may want you to hang out on every Friday and Saturday night. Your coworkers, they're a different group of people. They might want you to meet for drinks after work on Friday before you meet your other friends. Your spouse or partner or someone you're dating might expect your time as well. Or maybe you have children and your children too are expecting you to help them with their homework, put them to bed, be there for the sports games, all of those things. And all of those things are great, right? There's nothing wrong with all of those things. That's a lot of what I'm trying to say. But they might not be what you want. And again, can we shirk all of life's responsibilities? No. But can we start to add back in a little bit of what might make us whole? I don't think that's too much to ask. And I'll tell you why. Once you start to get your own self-fulfillment, once you start to live your life a little bit more on your own terms, you start to become happier. And when you're happier, guess what? You're complaining less. You have more energy. Your health all of a sudden improves. And you're able to help other people out to even a greater degree. Plus, you're also this new upbeat, energetic person that people want to be around. That's contagious. They want some of what you have. And that's a beautiful thing because then you get to open up other people's lives as well. So don't think that I'm asking you to be selfish. I'm not saying that as well. I'm not saying that at all, I should say. What I am saying is start to create a little bit of space in your life for you. It is your life. And what I'm saying is by starting to live your life, you will, in the end, do so much more for everyone that you come in contact with. You'll be happier for your children. You'll be happier for your spouse. Like I just know for my own kids and my wife, if I am literally from Friday night until Sunday night with them the whole time, and I never get to get out for a workout, I never get to get out for a walk, I never get to do, any of those things, and it's just go the whole time. By the end of those 24, or it's not 24, 60 hours, we'll say, all of us are like, you know what? We can't wait. We got to get a little breathing time. And that's normal. Like that's totally normal. That's not strange. That is, we love each other. We have a great family. My wife and I have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with my kids. It's great. But if we found this, if we just get out for 1 hour, that's it, or 30 minutes, meaning like my wife's like, you know what, why don't you go grab a smoothie? And I just head out to the local store and I go get a smoothie at a juice bar or whatever it might be. And I walk, I get fresh air and I kind of just, start to just work with my own thoughts. I just think like that's something that brings me pleasure. When I get back, guess what? I'm refreshed. It took 30 minutes. That's it. I went for a walk. I got a smoothie. I came back. I'm refreshed. And now guess what? I'm better for them, right? I'm better for them because I took a little bit of time for myself. But what if I didn't do that? What if I just went the full day, like through Saturday? Okay, no problem. Got into Sunday, still going. And I didn't take any time at all for me. And so I said, I love my family, so there's no problem with that. I can spend the whole time with them, this, and this, and this. We can do all their activities, and it's great. But by the end of that, I won't have as much patience. I won't be, maybe like initiating the activities, right? Just kind of letting them come to me instead, not coming up with fun things to do for my kids. All of those things I've found, and again, this might not be you, but what I found for me is that I just need a little bit of time to myself. Just that little bit of time. It's also why I say, and I did this in the beginning, because in the beginning, years ago, from essentially 6 a.m. until about 6 at night, maybe 8 o'clock at night, I worked. It was on everyone else's time, no doubt about that. And again, grateful for that because I've always done work that I love. But what happened was this. The only time I could get for me time was waking up even earlier. So you can imagine I'm getting up real early now, right? But what I found is always this, is if you can get just a little bit of time in the morning to yourself before you kind of have to hit the ground running for everyone else's demands, right then and there, you can start to do a little bit more for you. Meaning that you wanted to make exercise a big thing in your life for some time now. Let's just say it's that. What's the easiest time to exercise? You might not have the most energy, but what's the easiest time to exercise? First thing in the morning. That's it. Why? It's the only time of the day that you can really control if you get up before your partner, before your kids, or whoever it might be. And the reason is, once you get to work, there's no telling whether you're going to be able to sneak out for lunch. There's no telling when you have to go work late. You might miss the after work workout. You might miss any of those things. But if you do it before the day starts to progress, you're assured, even if it's only 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that you did your workout for the day. And that's why that kind of got me into, I couldn't work out in the morning for a long time because of certain health issues. But once I could, I just started with push-ups. I just did push-ups. That's it. Then it ended up being push-ups and some chin-ups. Then after that, it was push-ups, chin-ups, and some bodyweight squats. And then it was some lunges. And now I have this beautiful little bodyweight circuit that I've talked about on a previous Cabral concept that I do each and every day. That's in addition to a formal workout that I get to, because I still love to do my workouts. I still love my workout time. I put on my headphones. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to maybe some of my favorite music, anything like that. Maybe I'll listen to an audiobook, but it's my time and I'm just kind of in my own zone. I'm in my own world and I'm going and I'm just working out, and it's a great thing. But that's come a little bit later. What I can say is you can start to take back that morning, and that 20 minutes in the morning could be for meditation, could be for exercise, could be for reading. That's what I use it for a lot of the time. Could just be for making yourself a healthy breakfast, like a healthy smoothie. Any of those things, food prep, but that's your time. That is your time. That's where it starts. So hopefully today, on today's Motivation and Mindset Monday, you started to see that. Just try to use me as the example, at least, just to get started. By doing a little bit more for yourself, you are not selfish. It eventually becomes selfless because you can do so much more in your life if you're more at peace, if you're happy, if you have more energy. And that happens when you feel like you're starting to live life on your own terms. So right now, I want you to do this. I want you to think about really needing a little less approval from other people in your life. Starting to be a little bit more self-confidence as you as a person. And really that just comes with saying that your goals in life, what you want in life, what you want out of life is just as important as what anybody else wants out of their life. Because why wouldn't it be? And if you believe that, if you believe what you want in life is important, then you have to start acting on that. It's the only way. Only actions, not thoughts. The thoughts need to lead to actions. Only actions begin to propel you forward in life. They begin to get you a little bit more of what you want. And just remember, don't set yourself up for failure. You're not going to get that end goal. You're not going to get exactly what you want next week. And that's okay. Because really the happiness, part of the overall fulfillment, comes along with that journey. Believe it or not, it comes along with that little bit of that struggle, that worthy ideal that you're striving for. When you start to move in that direction, really life changes. It honestly changes. I get to see it every day in my practice because I'm working with people who have anxiety. They're depressed. They're just not feeling that well. They feel down. They feel like blood. They're zapped. They have brain fog. They have no energy. What gives them the spark, yes, is the nutrition. Yes, it's the detoxification. It's all of those things. But really, it's about discovering purpose. And honestly, that purpose is just figuring out a little bit more of what you want out of life. And then taking one more step each and every day. It just might be reading a book about what you want to achieve. That's still a step. It is an action. It's an action. You are reading the book, getting educated about what you want to do. Or you want to lose the weight, you want to tone up your body. Well, then it starts with the exercise. It starts with the nutrition. It starts with the detox. All of those things lead you to your goal. Not tomorrow, not next week, but you will get there. And again, the happiness comes from the working towards, the moving towards. It really does. When you reach the goal, you rejoice, you smile, you love it. But then what? So truly, what happens is always moving towards that goal, always moving to the next purpose, to what builds you up in life is what's going to bring that happiness in the end. So thank you everyone for tuning in to another Cabral Concept. I do appreciate each and every one of your listens, and I hope that today's episode brought you a little bit of a different mindset, all right? Moved you in a little bit of a different mindset that might make you take just one action this week to move towards your goals. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.